everyone, my name is Tanya Hertz. I am Assistant Professor of Entrepreneurship at San Diego Miramar College, and I'm also founder of the Rec Innovation Lab at San Diego Miramar. I also teach entrepreneurship at San Diego State University, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about diversity in entrepreneurship, because access to a quality education in entrepreneurship is a very critical resource for success. And people acquire an education in entrepreneurship through all different means. It's not as clear and consistent a path as you might see with an engineer or a physician. And we see people take all sorts of different paths to becoming an entrepreneur, but we do know that no matter what path they take, that access to education is important, but that access to education, it's often very limited for people from different backgrounds. And that's for a number of different reasons, right? The cost of a college education, we know that it's going up every year. The cost of living is going up every year. And we know that unfortunately, wages have been stagnant for almost 15 years now. And so a lot of minorities, they don't really have the luxury of focusing on school full time. And what they end up doing is they end up spending the majority of their time working to earn a living. And if they do get that education in entrepreneurship, it's often on the side. And we know that universities don't do a great job of attracting minorities to attend them. And there was a recent study that was done earlier this year that showed that minorities make up about 16% less of the portion of the students in universities compared to that same share of minorities that are graduating from high school. So oftentimes, excuse me, community colleges can be an educational refuge for a lot of minority founders. And that's just because easy enrollment, low cost, they tend to be very flexible, including flexible formats such as online learning. But the trouble is that a lot of community colleges don't have the same quality education that's available to students at universities. In fact, a lot of the community colleges, they focus on small business management, if they have an entrepreneurship program at all. And very, very rarely do you see any on-campus incubator in in a community college that's focused on high growth startups. So after I've been teaching for almost a decade at SDSU and seeing how important entrepreneurship education is, that's when I realized that I had to do something personally about the gap in the availability of resources. And I started the Regional Entrepreneurship Center in March of 2020. This is the Rec Innovation Lab, Regional Entrepreneurship Center, and it's at San Diego Miramar College, and it's available to everyone. And the stated goal and mission of the REC is to increase equity and inclusivity in the innovation ecosystem and to help everyone have access to cutting edge technology. We want to make sure they have the very best education possible and that they get the resources that they need to turn their ideas into those high growth ventures. And I know that the Rec Innovation Lab, it's a start, but we need more. We need more to develop equitable pathways and opportunities in the innovation ecosystem for diverse founders. And the start, where it all starts is, do we have the data to back up what we're saying? And right now, there's not a lot of data out there. And that's why at Village Up, we're working together with leaders in entrepreneurship. And we've created a survey. We're sending the survey out and we're trying to gather that data so that we can show that what we're doing is needed and important. So there's a lot of reasons why we need this survey, why we need the data from this survey, why we need your help to complete this survey. And number one, it's so that we can improve people's lives. We need data, we need surveys like this so that we can make informed decisions. And when you get good surveys like the one that we're sending out, it provides indisputable evidence. So anecdotal evidence assumptions are fine, they're great, they're helpful in theorizing, but if they're not enough, right? So we're all entrepreneurs, right? For the most part, we're all entrepreneurs. We know the value of validating our assumptions. We would never launch a company without talking to potential customers and gathering information and finding out if what we think is actually true. And the same thing is true when we want to solve a problem of the lack of inclusivity and lack of access to resources. We need to validate our assumptions. We need to make sure that what we think is true is actually true, and that that these resources are needed. So it's really important that we can get the results to this survey. This will help us back up what we think is true. It'll help us to stop with this guessing game and be very strategic in our approach and where we focus our efforts. It's also going to help us know what we're doing well, right? So data allows us to replicate where we can see areas of strength, and then to correct where we see areas that necessitate improvement. And the Rec Innovation Lab at Miramar College, the goal is to increase inclusivity and access to resources. And so we have a very diverse student founder body at the Rec. We have old, young, we have people from the LGBTQ community, we have all varying levels of physical and behavioral cognitive ability. We have founders, Black founders, we have Asian founders, women founders. We have a very diverse group of students who are accessing these resources. The reason I know that is because we were able to do surveys, right? And so we need to do this across San Diego so that we can improve our approach, right? And make the most of what we're doing, bringing grants into San Diego and knowing where to spend that money. That's enough. I'm not going to say any more. I really hope all of you will please help us by filling out these surveys and sharing the surveys with anyone that you know who's starting a company, a high tech, high growth type company, and we'll then leave the rest to us. Then we'll take that. We will increase resources to those diverse populations, and we'll do everything we can to get the money into our San Diego innovation ecosystem. Thank you for your help and your support. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you at the next thing. All right, take care. Bye.